Look down at the dirt beneath your feet. It might just look like, well, dirt. But what if I told you that handful of soil is actually a complex, ancient biological pharmacy? And by completely distancing ourselves from it in the modern world, we are actually fundamentally altering our own human biology. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the astonishing, invisible link between the dirt outside and the health of our minds and bodies.
Let's kick things off with a massive microshock. 10%, just 10%. Recent reviews comparing environmental microbiomes to our own bodies reveal something crazy. The modern human gut contains a mere 10% of the active microbial diversity you'd find in healthy soil. Seriously, let that sink in. We have essentially lost 90% of the microbial richness that exists out there in the natural world.
The contrast here is just staggering. Over on one side, you've got the vast, dynamic biodiversity of healthy soil, just absolutely teeming with millions of different microscopic life forms, fungi, and bacteria. It's like a bustling rainforest. But on the other side, the depleted, almost sterile biodiversity of the modern human gut. Somewhere between our hunter-gatherer ancestors and our highly urbanized society today, our internal ecosystem basically collapsed. We traded a rainforest for a biological desert. So how exactly did this happen?
Let's look at Section 1, the soil-plant gut axis.
Here's the absolute crucial point. Microbes don't just stay put in the ground. They're highly mobile. As plant roots soak up water and nutrients, they pull up this microscopic life right along with it. These soil bacteria migrate directly into the plant and literally set up camp inside the plant tissues. Science calls these endophytes. And because they live inside the plant itself, you can't just wash them off at the kitchen sink. When you eat the plant, you are directly consuming the soil's microbiome.
It's a super direct migration pathway. Step 1, the microbes start out in the soil. Step 2, they move into the plant tissues as endophytes. And step 3, they travel right down into your gastrointestinal tract. Basically, your food acts as a biological shuttle for these microscopic ecosystems. It's wild to think about, right? We are ecosystems, taking in other ecosystems.
Now, because of this shuttle system, the microbial diversity of the soil directly dictates the microbial richness of our food. To put this into perspective, research shows that a single, healthy 3 to 4 leaf spinach plant contains over 800 different bacterial species, directly sourced from its environment. 800 species in a single bite.
Well, let's do the math on that for a second. If you eat 30 different plant species a week, which, by the way, is a fantastic target for a healthy diet, you are introducing upwards of 30,000 different bacterial strains into your gut microbiome. That is a massive, incredible influx of biodiversity that trains and interacts with your immune system every single day.
Which brings us to Section 2, the diversity collapse.
So what goes wrong? Well, things like rapid urbanization, the heavy use of agrochemicals like fungicides and pesticides, and our increasingly sterile indoor living environments have completely severed our connection to these vital microbes. Researchers call this the diversity collapse. And it's not just our guts. We've altered our skin too. Before modern soaps, human skin was completely colonized by ammonia oxidizing bacteria, or AOB, which comes straight from the soil. These microbes converted our sweat into nitric oxide, which is actually vital for immune regulation. But today, typical everyday detergents just instantly wipe them out.
The biological fallout from this modern lifestyle is stark. Pre-industrial populations had what's called high alpha diversity, meaning a very rich, highly varied microbiome. Modern urban populations, though, have dramatically low alpha diversity. And when this diversity drops, dangerous pathobionts, think bad bugs like Helicobacter, can swoop in and take over our stressed guts. This severe depletion mirrors a frightening, well-documented surge in autoimmune diseases, asthma, inflammatory bowel diseases, and even mental health disorders that we've seen over the last 50 years.
Moving on to Section 3, the old friends hypothesis. This brings us to a fascinating concept in evolutionary biology that perfectly explains why this missing dirt is quite literally making us sick. It's known as the old friends hypothesis. The idea is simple, but it's profound. Humans co-evolved over millennia with harmless environmental microbes. Our immune systems evolved to rely on the constant presence of these microbes to act as safety signals. Without these microscopic old friends telling our immune system to just chill out and relax, our bodies default to a state of chronic, inappropriate inflammation.
And the benefits of these old friends go way, way beyond just physical immunity. They deeply affect our brains.
Research, like a prominent review by Dr. Davy on soil microbes, highlights a specific bacterium called Mycobacterium vaccae. Studies show that when humans are exposed to it, literally just by digging in the dirt or breathing it in, it triggers the release of serotonin in the brain. It acts as a completely natural antidepressant, lowering anxiety and just making us feel more relaxed.
I absolutely have to highlight this quote based on the work of researcher Dr. Christopher Lowry. He notes, exposure to mycobacteria not only has long-term immunoregulatory effects, but also alters physiology and neurophysiology within minutes. Think about that. His team found that adults who simply engaged in soil mixing activities with microbe-rich dirt experienced rapid alterations in brain activity in the occipital cortex almost immediately. Your brain literally lights up when you play in healthy dirt.
Next up is Section 4, Probiotics versus Soil Origin Microbes.
Now, hearing all this, you might be wondering, okay, can I just take a probiotic pill or eat some yogurt to fix this? It's a fair question. The short answer is, fermented foods and standard probiotics are great, for sure, but they simply lack the vast, ancient diversity of soil origin environmental microbes. A pill might give you a few billion copies of maybe 3 or 4 bacterial strains. But as we just learned, healthy soil exposure provides tens of thousands of different species, including those specific old friends our immune systems evolved to depend on.
And we actually have the data to prove how powerful real environmental exposure is. In a landmark intervention study done with urban daycare children, researchers went in and added microbially rich soil and forest floor materials right into the outdoor play areas. Within just 14 days of playing in this enriched dirt, the children's skin and gut microbiomes significantly shifted. Even better, their blood showed a tangible increase in anti-inflammatory regulatory T cells. Let me repeat that. Just 2 weeks of dirt exposure physically boosted their immune resilience.
So let's get practical in Section 5, Rewilding Your Gut.
What does this all mean for you? How do we actually translate this cutting-edge science into our everyday, highly urbanized lives? Well, researchers recommend a few actionable steps to reintroduce these crucial safety signals back into your body. First up, aim to eat over 30 diverse plant species every single week to maximize those endophytes we talked about. Second, when you can source them from safe, organic, pesticide-free gardens, try consuming some raw, minimally washed vegetables. Third, get out there and engage in vigorous outdoor activities in natural green spaces. And finally, practice deliberate dirt exposure through gardening. Getting your hands muddy isn't just a chore, it's an evolutionary necessity for your health.
Finally, Section 6, Join the Conversation.
At the end of the day, we are ecosystems, not just individuals. Our internal health is inextricably tied to the health of the planet's soil. The science is incredibly clear here. Protecting the Earth's biodiversity is quite literally protecting our own. I'd love to hear how this science lands with you. Think about your own diet for a second. How many different unique plants, from nuts and seeds to veggies and fruits, do you estimate you eat in a typical week? Drop your plant count down in the comments below.
I've got another question for you. Knowing how rapidly Mycobacterium vaccae can alter brain chemistry and boost your regulatory T cells, would you try a deliberate dirt exposure routine? Let us know if you'd be willing to literally get your hands dirty for the sake of your mental health and immunity.
And finally, what do you think? Is your gut health connected to your garden? Leave your thoughts on this incredible soil-gut connection. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to stick around for our next explainer, where we're going to continue unraveling the hidden, fascinating science of everyday life. See you then.